Hello, everyone, and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington. And before we dive into today's episode, which is Kyle Richards spiraling and fighting with her alleged lesbian girlfriend, Morgan Wade. Again, I don't think that's true. And then she's also been fighting with her estranged husband, Mauricio Umansky, along with her in laws. And then she's opening up about her daughter's failed engagement. Is she being honest? Is she not? And then also where she stands with Lisa Vanderpump. So before we dive in, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. So with that, let's go. So let's first talk about Kyle and Morgan fighting. The girls are fighting. So this is according to I believe this is Crazy Days and Nights blind item. So it says this singer and this housewife got into a huge fight because the housewife didn't call in any favors to try and get the singer as a presenter at a recent award show. So shout out to my candy cane Natasha, who sent me this blind item. Shout out to her. So this is clearly talking about Kyle Richards and Morgan Wade. Now, I have said since day one that I don't believe Morgan and Kyle are in an actual sexual lesbian relationship. I think Kyle has been acting out with the weight loss and tattoos and fighting with Mauricio and just doing the absolute most. And she just attached herself to Morgan. She liked her music. And I think Morgan Wade was like, what's going on? But her team was like, oh, wait a minute. The Real Housewives, Bravo, they have, mainstream appeal. You could really open up your audience base, go on tour, sell merch, and then leverage that, PR that you're getting, the buzz and social media to get more money, to get more gigs, to get more awards. So I think Morgan Wade has been playing along with her and her PR team, trying to milk this as much as they can. I don't think that they're actually lesbian lovers. I actually don't even think Morgan Wade likes Kyle as a person. Because if you watch their interviews, I always watch people's eyes. Morgan doesn't like Kyle. She kind of gets the ick from her. Even in their weird music video they did, if you look at Morgan's face when Kyle walks into the door, she kind of has a look of disgust and disdain. And when she talks about her and Kyle and interviews and everything, she's like, Kyle stalked me. Why is this girl hitting me up on Instagram and all this stuff? And when Kyle's like, we're such good friends, Morgan kind of looks at her like, are you crazy? So this is what I think happened. I think Kyle has been going through it. Complete crisis in her life. She has a lot going on. And I think she liked Morgan's music, reached out to her, and it kind of snowballed from there. And this is why they are now fighting, because according to the blind item, Kyle didn't pull any strings to get Morgan to be a presenter at an award show. I don't know if it's the CMAs, maybe. I'm not sure, whatever the awards are. But I also saw that Morgan has been snubbed at the Grammys, and I believe the CMAs as well. So this is why they're fighting. Morgan's basically like, I'm not pretending to be your lesbian girlfriend for nothing. I'm doing this for PR. I'm doing this for money. I'm doing this for tour sales. I'm doing this for social media followers. I'm doing this to get and use your connections. I thought from day one, this was a PR stunt from day one. And then don't forget, Kyle is now doing a documentary on Morgan. She's been following her around. So Kyle's also profiting from this. And then I also think it was attention-seeking behavior. She was doing the absolute most, trying to get Mauricio's attention because he was clearly looking at everybody else's body and not her body. So I want to know what you guys think. First, do you think Morgan and Kyle are actually in a lesbian relationship? And secondly, do you think Morgan was just using Kyle and Bravo and the Real Housewives as a launching platform to further her career, her pockets, and her social media stuff? I do. I think her and her team got together and said, let's milk this until the wheels fall off. And then do you believe the blind item? Do you think they are, fighting over the fact that Kyle has stopped pulling strings from Morgan? And I also believe this because I think that Kyle is starting to come to her senses a little bit and kind of wake up a little bit. The more she heals from, the grief of losing her best friend to mental illness. And I think that and then now that Mauricio has been out here with Emma Slater, his Dancing with the Stars partner, and all these other people, I think she's kind of realizing, oh, wait a minute, I left my husband. Oh, wait a minute. He might get in a new relationship. Oh, wait a minute. This might be a real divorce I have. Like, hold up. So I think that she might be pulling back a little bit, behind the scenes, because I think she's finally coming to her senses, if that makes sense. So put it down below. Let me know what you think. Now, let's move on to our next stories, which is Kyle fighting with Mauricio and the in-laws. And then we'll also talk about her daughter, Farrah, and her engagement or non-engagement to her fiance or non-fiance, Alex. So this is according to Reality Blurb. It says Kyle Richards weighed in on a potential reconciliation with Lisa Vanderpump while appearing on Teddy Mellencamp and Tamara Judge's podcast over the weekend at BravoCon. As she also looked back on the tense moment she experienced with her estranged husband, Mauricio Umansky, and his mom, Dr. Estella Snyder, on a recent episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And she also commented on the potential end of daughter Farrah's engagement to Alex Manos and revealed she's getting a new tattoo. And she also opened up about her split. She said, "There's certain things I'll never be ready to say because it's private. I'm not here to make anybody look bad or throw people under the bus," Kyle explained on the November 4th episode of Two Teas in a Pod. "We are a family no matter what, and I love Mo. I always will. We are a family, a very strong, tight family. Whether we're together or not, we're always going to have that, and I want to make sure we always do. With that said, obviously there's things I was holding in that were hurting me and upsetting me," she continued. "I'm not the best with my poker face. I think people know that about me. Some people pick up on that. Other people are saying you're just bitter and angry." In July, it was reported that Kyle and Mauricio had separated after 27 years of marriage. Months later, after denying rumors of divorce, the couple confirmed the report was true. While Kyle has been linked to Morgan Wade and Mauricio has been linked to his Dancing with the Stars partner Emma Slater, both parties have denied the alleged romances. Do I think Mauricio and Emma are hooking up? Maybe. I don't think that really matters. Like, Mauricio's always been hooking up with people. I don't think Kyle really cares about the cheating. I think Kyle cares more that he hasn't been there for her sexually and emotionally and mentally and spiritually when she has gone through her crisis and her grieving period. I think she felt abandoned by him, and that's what we're seeing. That's the pain, that's the hurt, that's the bitterness, that's the isolation, and that's why she's doing all this attention-seeking behavior, losing all the weight, getting multiple tattoos, having a fake lesbian relationship, lashing out to her mother-in-law. This is all pretty predictable attention-seeking behavior from someone who feels abandoned by their spouse. I'm not a doctor, but it's pretty obvious to me. All right, let's keep going. As Real Housewives of Beverly Hills fans will recall, Kyle first faced rumors of a romance with Morgan earlier this year and fueled those reports by starring in a racy music video with Morgan months later and getting matching tattoos with the country singer. Kyle ultimately noted that she has matching tattoos with a lot of friends, including Teddy, on the podcast, and she revealed she will soon have one more. "I'm supposed to be getting one next week with my daughter Farrah," she shared. Also, speaking of Farrah, Kyle said that she doesn't feel comfortable addressing rumors that her engagement has been called off. "I don't know," she replied when asked. "I don't like to answer for other people. I'll let her speak for herself." Side note, I think their engagement is obviously called off. Last year, she was very cagey about setting a date and everything. Also, if you watch the first season of Buying Beverly Hills, I said it. I thought that Farrah and Alex were basically glorified booty calls. Like, when you get to a certain age, I think Farrah's, I want to say in her 30s maybe. And I think Alex is like older than her. So once you get to a certain age, and you just have an overnight bag that you bring to the guy's house, and then when you leave, you take your bag with you. That's a glorified booty call. That's not even a girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't leave your stuff there, because she admitted that. And she said she was tired of like bringing her bag over to his place and all of that stuff. It's just a glorified booty call. And like all her friends on the show were like, "Okay, well, like, how long are you going to wait for him, without the commitment?" And then the engagement seemed like it was a shut up ring, like, shut up about it. Here's a ring. And then there were rumors, thanks to, blind items, that he was cheating on her. So with all of that, like, being forced to give her an engagement ring, not living together and being a certain age. And it's not just about living together. It was they just weren't committed. He wasn't committed to her. You see what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to live together, but at least give the girl like a drawer, like at least give her like a space so she doesn't have to like take her slug her overnight bag, you know? When you've been together for years and you are a certain age, that's just a glorified booty call, you know? And then the cheating allegation. So I do think that it's called off. I do think it's over, but we'll see. Or at least maybe put on pause. All right. Reflecting on an episode of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills earlier this year, which saw Kyle telling Estella about Mauricio's tattoo, an art form that is often frowned upon in the Jewish community. Kyle attempted to explain why Mauricio was so upset. I think the mood was tense because of the whole situation that came up on camera about the tabloids and this and that, Kyle shared. It wasn't about being Jewish. He wouldn't have done it, gotten a tattoo if it was because of that. Then I was like, well, they're shooting their show. Is it something he wants to share on the show buying Beverly Hills? I didn't really know. I just never saw him react like that. I'm not really sure why he reacted like that. But tensions were high. Kyle, you're lying. That's a bold-faced lie, because if you watch the episode that they're referring to on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, you see in her face, and she even says like, "Oh, did you tell your mom about your tattoo?" And he looks at her like, "No, like what are you doing?" She knew that her mother-in-law did not approve of tattoos. She knew that Mauricio had not told his mother that he had a tattoo, and she knew exactly what she was doing by saying it to Estella on camera. She was trying to get a rise out of her. She was trying to trigger her. She was trying to poke. She was trying to get a reaction out of her. It was so obvious. And Estella was like, I'm not taking the bait. She's like, it's fine. I don't care. It's cool. It's fine. She wasn't taking the bait. I also think Kyle was pissed at Estella because Estella brought up the tabloid stuff about the cheating and about them, breaking up and her being very, upset about it. And so I think it was a little bit of get back. And again, it's that pushing boundaries and testing people and attention seeking behavior because you're in a bad place and you want attention. So Kyle, stop lying. You knew exactly what you were doing. That's why you did it. And you knew it was going to piss Mauricio off. That's why you did it. You wanted to piss him off. You wanted his attention. You wanted to push his buttons. In addition to the negativity surrounding Mauricio's tattoo, Kyle said he wasn't happy that Estella mentioned the split as cameras rolled. All right, you guys. And I know that we talked about Farrah and Alex earlier, but here's a photo of them. All right, let's keep going. Okay. Da-da-da. Mo was more mad than I was, she admitted. He was not happy. Mo was not in a good mood. He did not like that. Exactly. He did it on purpose. As for her potential reconciliation with Lisa Vanderpump, who said that she had empathy for her and made her split with Mauricio, Kyle confirmed she's open to making amends. You know how I am, Teddy. I'm not like you. Teddy does hold a grudge. If she were to come up and say something nice and give me a hug or something, I'm the type that would just be like, forgotten, Kyle revealed, but noting that it won't happen because Lisa's not that type. Kyle, shut up. First of all, don't speak on Lisa's behalf. Secondly, of course you would be friends with LVP again. She dropped you. You didn't drop her. But why would she be friends with you when you backstabbed her? And, you totally stabbed her in the back with Lucy, Appagoosey, and frickin' Puppygate and Full Fox 5. And when, Lisa was grieving the death of her brother, you got together with the rest of the cast members to get her off the show, to attack her and to go against her. That's not really being a good friend. You're complaining about Mauricio not paying attention to you when your friend passed away, but yet you get together with a group of women to take Lisa Vanderpump down after her brother passes away by the same exact means. You're a freaking hypocrite, girl. Shut up. Okay. Let's go. Also on the podcast, Teddy recalled how Kyle clapped back at Reza Farrahan by reminding him his show Saws of Sunset was canceled after he called her overrated. It just caught me in the moment and I said something rude back or something, just stupid. I don't like to engage in that stuff, but sometimes I have my moment. What can I say? Kyle asked. I mean, I don't like Reza, to be honest with you. I think he's kind of evil, but he wasn't wrong. I don't think Kyle's overrated. Is Kyle even rated? That's really more my question. Is she even rated? Girl, bye. You're not a fan favorite and you never will be. Just because Andy likes you doesn't mean we do. So I want to know what you guys think. Again, what do you think about Morgan Wade and Kyle? What do you think about Mauricio and Kyle's split? Do you think they actually will ever get divorced? Or do you think they're playing in our faces? Is this for a storyline? Is this because they have lawsuits and they're trying to hide the assets? Is it because Kyle was going through something and Mauricio wasn't there for her? What do you think it is? And do you think they'll actually get divorced? And what do you think about Farrah and Alex? Do you think that the engagement is called off? I do. We haven't heard anything about it. There's no date. Kyle saying she doesn't want to speak on other people pretty much confirms it's a wrap. I think that mothers of their bride would be gushing and telling about details and dresses and flowers and cakes and everything. So I think it's pretty much a wrap. And to be honest with you, I think Farrah can do a lot better. She's beautiful, she's intelligent. She's actually like really smart and driven. I actually really like Farrah. Like if you want to get to know her more, watch the first season of Buying Beverly Hills. She's great. She's really great. She was even calling Mauricio out about the shady business practices at the agency. And she was thinking about leaving and starting her own agency because she was like, this is really shady. You guys are taking too much of my money. So if he's willing to take too much of his own stepdaughter's money, imagine what he's doing to other people. That's why they are faced with like $35 million lawsuits and $12 million lawsuits left, right, and center. If you're going to steal from your family, there's nobody you wouldn't steal from, right? And to me, Alex is kind of like an F boy, and Farrah deserves better. She's smart and she's beautiful, and she deserves someone who is sure about her, clear about her, and wants to commit to her. So my heart goes out to Farrah. Let this F boy go. Do you find a guy that is worthy of you, girl? Okay. So as always, I want to know what you guys think. Put it down below, and be sure to like, subscribe, and share. I love you. Bye.